Hello everyone, Kurtupo here. I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I think this is just gonna pop up on YouTube without any context whatsoever. So apologies there, but I have basically been playing a bunch of tournaments lately. I think what I'm gonna end up doing is making one giant compilation, or maybe maybe not, maybe I'll just like upload a tournament game every day or something. But there is a new episode of the Raichu series coming out soon on the new cards in Rebel Clash. I decided that instead of releasing the video the day of when it releases, which is today/yesterday, depending on where you live, but I kind of wanted to wait until all the cards are on. Actually, I think the cards are already on PTCGO. So actually, that video might come sooner. But yeah, this is a tournament game I just played earlier today, and it was such an incredible game. I just had to upload it immediately. When I recorded the game, I was not able to commentate, so I am doing commentary. You know, this is a pre-recorded video. I did record the video, but I'm just gonna be talking through what I think my thought process was. I tried doing some things while actually playing the game to try and remind myself. But yeah, let's just start the video. This game is against birdboy2000, so shoutouts to him. This is also the deck. I think I just spent a couple of seconds showing off this Porygon Z deck. I don't believe I've shown it off on YouTube quite yet, but if you've been catching my streams over at twitch.tv/Kurtupo, you'll know I've been playing with this deck a lot, testing it. Here I just show the deck, just to, you know, so I'm not cheating or anything. But yeah, this is a really cool game. I don't remember exactly what's prized off the top of my head. I still have my notes, but I cross off whenever I like grab something with Gladian. So I only know the cards I did not grab. So I choose to go second, because this deck is kind of designed to go second. We have to mulligan, which is unfortunate. Opponent gets to draw a card that ends up not mattering a whole lot, and you'll see why. If you ever faced Birdboy, you might have an idea of what's coming. We have a really cool start. I'm thinking here, what I'm trying to say is level ball for Dunsparce, and then greens for Switch and another level ball, and that combined with our energy is going to be more than enough to get our board set up. So here I take a look at Hoot. It's the one for a double colorless. You can lock your opponent from playing items for a turn, which is really cool. So here I notice a Pikachu is prized. I wiggle it to make sure Phoebus is in our board. In our active, excuse me. I grab the Dunsparce because I'm going to be grabbing later. PC is in our hand. Evo Instance is also in our hand. Later on I go faster and like showing. So here I realize a level ball is prized because there's two in the deck and the one we're playing right now. That's 3, not 4. And I think it's at this point where I realize there's no switch. And I mean to show Gladian, but instead I show greens. So a Cynthia is prized because I have 2 in this deck. And Red's Challenge is also prized. I don't think I catch on. AZ is the last card that's prized, by the way. I don't quite catch on that AZ is prized. It never ends up mattering. But you'll see here, I'm trying to like figure out what that last card is. I never quite do until I actually play Gladian. But it actually is when I decide to go for Instance first, just in case they item lock us. But then I play Gladian because I realize Switch is prized. And that's when I realized, oh, it's AZ. So it doesn't end up mattering because we just played Gladian turn 1 just to get Switch. Because I was kind of worried that if we did not get our board state set up, we wouldn't be able to do anything. I go ahead and throw Power Plant. That ends up not mattering a whole lot. And Dunsparce goes for Strike and Run. Strike and Run, it's like Call for Family, but for 3, which is amazing. It gets our entire board set up. Usually we would like to, not have Switch prize. That way we can just Greens for Switch and a last Pokemon. We have our entire bench filled. But I'm expecting here to Proclaim the Night. But that actually is not what ends up happening. I think I'll just let it play out. Leewinoa here, going for Pidgey. They're obviously going for Pidgeotto. And they place down the other Hoodoo. We know we have the Noctowl in their hand. I think now is, when they Pokecalm. This game happened a little recently, so I kind of remember what happens. We go for Fione, not quite sure how to pronounce it. And they Whirlpool Suction, although we actually put in Phoebus here. I don't quite agree with my play. I was just worried that they would carry off Celebi, but they actually carry off Dunsparce. Although, if I had actually switched in Celebi, the thing is, I didn't realize, in my notes, I wrote down that carry off affects any Pokemon, but actually it specifically states only benched Pokemon. So here, I Greens for Master Ball, because I plan on chaining Milotic. And probably another Greens, I think? Yeah, I wasn't really sure what to do. So I think I just grabbed another Greens. I wasn't entirely sure how the gameplay loops would play out. Obviously here, also grabbing Professor Letter was actually pretty important. So here I just chain Milotic and then use the last Milotic to grab Switch. The reason getting Professor's Letter was important is because Carry Off shuffled the energy as well. We can't actually recover that recycle energy unless we just draw into it. However, thanks to us playing Professor's Letter, I mean, I probably would have just done it the next turn had we not top deck it. And here I'm deciding whether or not to, because it's Lily's Pokédoll. Paralysis doesn't affect its ability to shuffle itself back in the deck, so I didn't do that. But because Professor's Letter is now in our discard pile, we can immediately play it back with Milotic, and just get the energy that was previously shuffled into the deck. So here we know again, they get their Pidgeotto and their Noctowl. Now all they need is their other triple acceleration energy. I forget if they have it this turn. They have Fione, Whirlpool Suction. I think I just put Phoebus back in, yeah. I should not be putting Phoebus in, and there's a good reason for that. Thankfully, I realized the mistake in time. It almost cost me the game, but not quite. They shuffle Celebi in, which is fine, because I can just Greens for Level Ball and Switch. Or excuse me, not Greens for Switch. I just Greens for Level Ball. I grab Trick Shovel here. I don't quite agree with that. Then again, with hindsight, I just really was not sure how this loop would go. If I had to redo this turn, I definitely would have grabbed some other things. But here I grab Switch. Yep, I do. And then I think I grab a Master Ball. Maybe I just continue with this Trick Shovel. I give him Pidgey. I don't remember if I just grabbed Trick Shovel again or if I actually grabbed a ball. Okay, yeah, I grabbed Master Ball, okay. And Smart Me... Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, Smart Me grabs the Porygon, but I actually grabbed the Pikachu, excuse me. I don't want to talk about, like, the misplays too much, I'm just pointing them out, and once we get into this core loop... eventually we get into this position, we're both kind of doing the same thing over and over again to counter each other's looping. And once that happens, I'll talk about why I could have made some better plays. Spinner's Mail, I grabbed Gladian here because there's quite a few other cards we'd like to have. For reference, the cards we have left to grab are Pikachu, Level Ball, Cynthia, AZ, and Red's Challenge, I believe. Yeah, I get rid of Pokédoll. For a moment, I think the key to winning this is to get rid of their Pokédoll, and that's kind of true. Getting rid of Pokédoll kind of helps us win the game, kind of doesn't. I'll talk about it more once we actually get here. Now I grab Porygon. Would have been a little bit safer to do this last turn, but thankfully they did not play Fion. So I go here, I grab greens, because I'm not entirely sure, oh wait, I guess I just grabbed Trick Shovel then. I get rid of Triple Acceleration Energy. I did recognize, thankfully, that if Triple Acceleration Energy is their only form of energy in the entire deck, then getting rid of all 4 of those will win us the game. So here I'm thinking of grabbing Professor's Letter in case they Fion shuffle us back into the deck. I think that is what ends up happening, or maybe they maybe this is the turn they Parallel City. I forget. So they're just drawing cards. I think at this point I realized that going for Trick Shovels isn't exactly worth it. Because they draw so much cards, and it's better to spend our Milotics getting cards that would make our board state a little bit safer. We switch in. I think now I sack Pikachu. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't quite agree sacking Pikachu. I later realized it, so I guess they play Parallel City the next turn. Yeah, because I have Field Blower. So I say here, okay, I just need Master Ball, Switch, and Professor's Letter. Easy, right? So I Master Ball for Celebi. This is another misplay, by the way. I'm like, okay, now I need the energy and Switch. Oh, wait. I misplayed this. I was supposed to Gladian for Level Ball instead of using Milotic to do so. So here I realized I made a huge mistake. This is one of the points where it might have cost me the game had I not realized it sooner, and my opponent kind of... I'm not quite entirely sure what happened with my opponent this turn. I guess they just shuffled too many things in their deck. Because Noctowl and Fion both shuffle themselves in the deck. I go for Nuzzle here. It ends up not mattering because our opponent actually does not have DCE. Spoiler alert, the opponent only has Triple Acceleration Energy. Sooner or later I realized that, and therefore realized that Pikachu is useless, because the opponent will only use Noctowl's attack when they have Triple Acceleration Energy and their attack shuffles them in the deck. And we can't affect Lily's Pokédoll. I don't know if I realized that right away, but eventually there's a turn... No, I don't realize it yet, because one of these turns, my opponent's going to play Parallel City. Might be this turn. And I get rid of the Phoebus instead of Pikachu. And we kind of have a Stadium War at some point. And the second time around, I realized that Pikachu is pretty much useless. So go for Raichu here. I don't remember if I go for Red's Challenge. No, I don't. Because I wasn't sure whether or not to get rid of Field Blower. That ends up mattering a lot, actually. So here I'm thinking of using Red's Challenge to sack whatever card we're about to draw and Dunsparce. That's right, this is the turn they play Parallel City, because I'm telegraphing to myself that I'm going to go for Rare Candy. And then they play Parallel City, and I'm forced, quote-unquote forced, to discard Porygon. So they go here, I'm thinking of... Oh, I guess not. I guess it's the next turn that I'm thinking... Because I think now I consider grabbing Silent Lab and discarding Raichu. I don't think I do. Maybe I do. No, I don't. Maybe... Do I? Okay, I don't. I was going to say, I don't remember playing that. I think I grabbed greens here. I don't quite remember, to be completely honest. Because I had greens here saying, oh, if they shuffle me, I can just greens or a level ball. And I think I have nothing better to do, so I grab rockets and just immediately play it. It kind of works out because I discard triple acceleration energy. Though in all honesty, I'm basically making a bunch of mistakes here. I'm kind of calling myself out for it because I don't exactly realize how this game state is going. Because basically the way I'm playing this, I'm going to be grabbing greens. And greens gets us card from the deck, and eventually we will run out of cards to grab from the deck, because eventually we'll have just used them all. Thankfully, between my opponent just not drawing everything they need to consistently punish myself, and me just realizing my mistakes and slowly adapting and putting on a better... There we go, now they play Silent Lab. See here, I get rid of Phoebus, I think. Or maybe Porygon? Regardless, I should have gotten rid of the second Pikachu, and now I'm glad I kept Field Blower. So they go for this again, that's right, and then they shuffle away a Phoebus. I think at this point is when I realize the core loop. Or maybe they go for Celebi? I forget which happens. At one point, my opponent realizes that I'm only able to survive. You know, they got rid of basically 3 Pokemon. I switched to Pikachu here. Again, not something I should really be doing. But basically, the only reason I'm able to come back from these situations, yeah, they just shuffle in Celebi, is because I have access to 2 Milotic, and eventually my opponent realizes that if they are shuffling away Phoebus, that reduces my outs because I'm having to spend 1 Milotic to grab another, and therefore the only way I can get the cards from my deck is through greens. So here I grab Silent Lab. I'm a little worried about Ditto. I grabbed Rare Candy, and I think the idea here is that I'm going to grab Porygon, and or maybe I grabbed Celebi, I don't quite remember. Yeah, I grabbed Celebi. I guess I get Rare Candy for later. It ends up not mattering a whole lot. But here I switch. So again, Pikachu does not matter in this matchup, funnily enough, which is why I'm kind of being super critical. I paralyze here for good measure, because if they can't get rid of Silent Lab, then we've locked Ditto into place, because they can't evolve to get rid of Paralysis while Silent Lab is in play, because it's able to evolve via its Almighty Evolution ability. I think they are able to get rid of it. I forget if it's this turn or the next. They just immediately get rid of Silent Lab. So I think it's at this point that I realize that opponent, you know, they're drawing so many cards and they haven't played any other energy other than Triple Acceleration energy. Especially here, they whiff Energy Lotto, but they have another. And this is the point where I realize that Triple Acceleration energy is probably their only energy in their deck. Yeah, they get rid of Silent Lab, and then they evolve up, attach Greasy, and so on and so forth. But it's at this point where I realize if I get rid of all 4 Triple Acceleration energy, I win the game. I think this is also the point where I realize that Pikachu is useless and I should be focusing on getting my board state as safe as possible. Because what the loop ends up being, I don't remember if I like telegraph it this turn or not. But Noctowl will shuffles itself and the energy as an attack. Therefore, they're not able to draw those cards until the next turn. So once now they shuffle in the Phoebus. Kind of both realize what has to be done here. So I do this, I have Evo Incense, so I can at least grab 1 Milotic and use that Milotic to grab Phoebus. But basically what the loop comes down to is after they shuffled Noctowl, but more importantly its energy, back into the deck, I have an opportunity to potentially get rid of it. Here I play Raichu, just so I have less cards that I'm shuffling back in the deck and potentially drawing. And I can't play this Milotic because Phoebus was just played. And I attach a lightning energy to Pikachu just in case I have to leave it in the active. Thanks to the effect of something like Fion, forcing me to shuffle Celebi onto the bench, and then my opponent getting rid of Celebi. And, you know, maybe going for a Nuzzle, but from here on out, I think my opponent just focuses on getting the Phoebus. The reason I think I misplayed a lot is that, you know, for one, Pikachu is absolutely useless here. It actually does not end up mattering. Both Pikachu and Dunsparce are just, I was about to say trade fodder, discard fodder. The computer search here, I forget exactly for what. Yeah, they discard Ditto Prism and Nest Ball. Maybe Triple Acceleration? Actually, I don't think we ever find out what exactly it is they computer search. So see here, we're just doing this loop here where I'm spending one Milotic to grab Phoebus. So at some point I realized this. Well, I probably already have. So I'm grabbing Red's challenge because the idea here is that I want to conserve my level balls. So I evolve because I have nothing better to do. It's literally just wasting time. I think now is when I start to grab the Porygon, yeah. So basically, I always want a Porygon Z, and that's just for Fion. Because if our opponent Fiones us at a bad time, it could be worse than them just shuffling in Phoebus. But at some point, I try and grab as many control cards as possible, realizing that once they send off or whatever the Noctowl's attack is called, that's when I want to start playing my discard cards in hope of discarding either all their energy or all their Noctowl or Hoodoo or something. But I really should be focusing on grabbing cards that will allow my board state to be better. Right now I'm using one Milotic to grab the level ball, to grab the Phoebus, but I can't use that second Phoebus. And so I'm basically spending my turn to mitigate the opponent's turn. And because I'm doing that, I never get the opportunity to play my control cards. And thankfully I have Reds. If I did not have Reds and I had to be spending my Milotic to grab Phoebus, and I was just doing that over and over again, I would not be getting anywhere, especially since I don't think all of my level ball have been prized, but you can see the exception of the level ball that is in the prizes. I believe it's still in the prizes. I have no way of retrieving Phoebus. And in addition, the longer this game goes on, the more likely it is that the opponent can find their Noctowl and their Triple Acceleration energy and the other Hoodoo. Because in this situation, I can only recover more than one item if the opponent is not able to get their Noctowls going turn after turn after turn. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. The reason why discarding the Pokédoll is so important is because eventually we get to a point where I've discarded enough Hoodoo where they only have one. And so it's crucial to have two, because once you've carried off with the first, you can just evolve and carry off with the second Hoodoo. When you only have one, you have to spend in a turn with Pokédoll. Here, Wheel Pro Suction. I think now I'm smart enough and I send in a P2. Thankfully I have an energy in the discard pile. At least I think I do. But that's also I think my opponent kind of misplayed here, because they shuffled in Celebi thinking that it would disrupt me because I don't have energy, but because they didn't target the Phoebus, I can just evolve into it and get the energy back that way. I think yeah, now's when I start grabbing Rocket's Handiwork, because I'm realizing that the way to win this game is to discard stuff. I discard the third triple acceleration energy, and so now all I need to do is discard the fourth. However, my board state's not looking super duper nice. I probably should have, well, I'm not sure. It ends up not mattering too much, but you'll see here, if they were to Fion Noctowl away Porygon Z, I would be stuck for a turn. And I would have to spend my level ball grabbing Celebi. Well, I guess even then, it wouldn't be that big a deal, really. But they don't Whirlpool Selection here, and I think that's because they realize that the best thing for them to do is to target down the Phoebus. So we're kind of in this interesting war of attrition, where I have to be spending my Milotic to get Phoebus, and you know, if they were ever to not draw into their Noctowl, that would give me a free turn. So they want to be drawing cards, but at the same time, eventually they'll draw so many cards that the only thing left in their deck will be stuff like Noctowl. So here I finally grabbed that 4th level ball. I'm considering grabbing AZ, but I decided to grab level ball instead. So eventually they're going to draw so many cards that the only thing left in their deck is going to be the Noctowl, and that makes my stuff like Rockets a lot more dangerous. So here I use one Rockets, or excuse me, I use Milotic to grab Rockets. I can't play it right away because I use Gladion. But I realized that the way to make my board state safer is just to stockpile these level ball. Eventually I grab Master Ball and hold on to the control cards, and we don't play them until right after the opponent goes for the shuffle attack. So here the opponent does not draw into everything, and so that gives me another turn. And I think this is the turn that like kind of seals up the game, because I'm able to just grab multiple level ball. I do play Rockets. I don't remember if I go for it immediately or if I go for another level ball. I discard another End. I think that's important. It's really not, because the goal of this game is to discard all the energy. Yeah, I go for level ball. So good on me for doing that and not grabbing Rockets. And it would only be annoying if I were not able to get all our Milotic and they shuffled away PZ or something like that. I guess it's kind of nice that we discard N, but it really doesn't determine the match. I'm kind of looking through my discard pile because I'm thinking of grabbing Silent Lab, because I recognize that if they do N us, Fion could be a problem. It never ends up being a problem, and my opponent kind of just doesn't play Fion this turn. They calm away the other Fion for Hoodoo, because again, remember, I discard so many of their cards, they need the 2 Hoodoo. I actually play one Pokédoll. I don't quite agree with it, because yeah, they'll carry off Phoebus, but now, and this is what I was talking about earlier, they have to play Pokédoll, and if this were Hoodoo, they could just evolve into Noctowl and continue doing this. But by putting in Lily's Pokédoll, it allows me basically a free turn. So I grab Rockets. Eventually I start grabbing Trick Shovel, but yeah, I don't quite agree. I stopped doing this, but I don't quite agree with grabbing Rockets like the last couple of turns. And the reason that is I should be waiting to use my Rockets once there are no more cards left in the deck. This turn it didn't matter too much because they had 8 cards left in their deck. But you'll see here, they basically just gave me a free turn here. Thanks to Lily's Pokédoll. Whereas if they actually played Hoodoo, I think it would have been in a much better position. So here I play P2 because I'm thinking, okay, worst case scenario, if they start to Fionas, I could, if they Fionas and shuffle away Porygon Z, that means they didn't shuffle away the Phoebus, which means I could just use the Milotic, that second Milotic, to grab P2. So I do go for Rockets. I don't quite agree with this one because the opponent did not shuffle anything in. It's fairly likely that they have all their triple acceleration and knocked out by all their energy, I mean just the one, in their hand, and they're just waiting a turn because they accidentally play Lily's Pokédoll and were not able to evolve into Hoodoo. I think I was just trying to discard cards, hoping that if that maybe I would discard enough that it could just win me the game next turn. I really don't agree with that play. But yeah, they just play it. Again, they probably just had it in their hand. They were waiting to do so. So here they play Parallel City, and I finally get rid of this Pikachu. Because I realize it's pretty much useless. Because having second Porygon and the Phoebus is really all I need. I think I eventually get rid of Parallel City by playing Faba. Not something I entirely agree with, because eventually I try and play Faba. Assuming play Rockets, and I realize, oh, I just Faba'd this turn. So I play Parallel City because I just don't want to deal with it. But I really should not have done that. Because I think here I go for Rockets, and I try and play it, and I can't because I already played the supportive for the turn with Faba. Because again, the less cards there are left in the deck, the more deadly Rocket's handiwork is. And basically all that happened this turn was I wasted a level ball by playing Faba. And I really had no reason to, especially since we still have access to Celebi. So in a pinch, I could just play Celebi instead of Porygon Z. But yeah, they're just drawing cards, and here I'm thinking, oh, if I flip, double heads, maybe I could win the game. I think I just go for it anyway. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I grab Level Ball first. No, I grab Pikachu. I'm just kind of scared. I don't entirely agree with this though. So I grab Trick Shovel. I think that was a mistake. I should only Trick Shovel if I get double heads. I play them anyway. And I think this is Hoopa. No, this is Lily's Pokédoll. I get rid of it, realizing that getting rid of it would essentially buy me a turn, because I could kind of maybe trap something in the active. So then I reveal Hoopa. And again, this ends up not mattering because the free turn from last time that I pointed out kind of made it so that we got enough leeway to kind of just win the game. Obviously, I would like to have a few more things here and there. Things like more Level Ball, maybe not playing Rockets earlier, kind of maybe just saving those cards, grabbing stuff like greens, because I'm kind of worried about N. I don't remember whether or not that happens. But you'll see they attach Floatstone, and that's just so there's more cards in the deck. Because again, the more cards in the deck, the less deadly Rockets is. So here I actually draw into Phoebus, which is basically a free turn. So I think, yeah, here I land double heads, and I discard the last triple acceleration energy. I think my opponent says GG, yeah. And that's that. I say well play, realizing that I've pretty much won, even if they play N here. I'm fairly certain they got rid of all their energy, and therefore it's only a matter of time until I get my board set up. Because, of course, with Fion and Rescue Stretcher, they can prevent themselves from milling out naturally, just from the drawing a card each turn. But eventually I will get my board state set up, and then I can just play Rockets any point during the game. So here I just go for Rockets. The game is pretty much over. This is kind of more of a courtesy turn. Because if I flip out any heads, and I think I flip double heads. No, I don't, okay. But yeah, I just go for Trick Shovel, and that's the game. So this is a really fun deck. I made a lot of plays. Both of us made I made a lot of plays. A lot of misplays, specifically. I think we both made a bunch of misplays in the early game. And that's just we're both trying to figure out what is the best thing to do. Eventually we both realize that that Milotic is important, and so they are, shuffling in Phoebus, and we're trying to recover Phoebus using the Milotic, and we're kind of negating each other. But thanks to a combination of, I had reds in my hand. I think the turn where I played reds to grab Phoebus is kind of the crucial turn, because if I had not had reds, might have ended up happening is that our opponent shuffles away both of our Phoebus, and therefore I'm not able to play, I'm not able to recover cards until I have both Phoebus, because if I only play one, they'll just shuffle it away. And because I'm not able to recover cards, I'm not able to play enough cards where eventually they would shuffle everything away until I only had my active remaining, which would be pretty bad. I think if we had to play this match again, I think our deck would be favored. Okay, as you can kind of see VLC. That was the end of the video. I think if we had to replay this, I would definitely be the winner. The thing about our opponent's deck is they don't really have any form of discard. Obviously their whole deck is one giant disruption, but that isn't really effective against our deck. Against other, setup decks in general, I think would have a hard time dealing with this, because you could just always shuffle stuff in, and you can shuffle stuff in faster than they can set up. But the fact that we have access to things like Team Rocket's handiwork, where we can just get rid of cards in one go, is very crucial. And I think just having Rockets here is what ends up winning us the game. Having Pokekid would be nice, because the only reason that I could lose is because, because our only way of searching out Pokemon without Level Ball and Master Ball is with Red's Challenge, and eventually we would run out of cards to discard with Red's Challenge. And we later find out, not we later find out, but I'm telling you right now, I was talking with the opponent afterwards. It was a really cool game. And they actually, I don't think they played Trevenant, but they told me that a version, that sometimes they play Trevenant in this deck, so they can leave it in the active. So instead of leaving Lily's Pokédoll in the active, they can just leave Trevenant in the active. Of course, Trevenant wouldn't really help, because this deck is designed to beat item lock. It's designed to function entirely around item lock. Like, we don't play any items past the first turn. But Trevenant combined with the shuffling could prove a problem, because the only way we could reliably get back our Phoebus without Level Ball is with what's it called? Red's Challenge. Of course, if they're playing Trevenant, we could just try and get rid of all their Floatstone. But either way, if they had Trevenant in their build that we played with, definitely would have made a difference. However, I think 9 times out of 10, we'd win this matchup regardless. I think the only way I lose is if I misplayed, which I almost did, but thankfully, me drawing into the stuff I needed, and the opponent not realizing what the optimal strategy is early on is what allows us to come back and win despite our misplays. But yeah, that's enough rambling from me. I had a lot of fun playing. Hopefully it was entertaining to watch in post commentary. I guess. Sorry I couldn't commentate live. I just was not able to record with my mic. But I hope you enjoy this kind of style of post commentary, because I recorded quite a few games without any, without me talking into the mic and explaining my plays. I'm not sure. I think those will go a little worse because I don't quite remember every single game I've played. I've been playing a lot of games, and this was earlier today, so it's kind of fresh in my memory. But really cool deck, really cool. I would go check out go tell you to check out Birdboy, but he actually doesn't have a Twitter or anything. But watch out for the name, because we definitely have not seen the last of our. I was gonna make like a bird pun, but I couldn't think of one. Our good old Birdboy. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Look out for a new video coming soon. I might record it in a little bit. I was waiting till Rebel Clash came out on PTCGO. That way I could actually, show you the cards instead of some Japanese image, because I don't think I ever released a video, but I did like a set review of my review of my set review of Sword and Shield, and I totally mistranslated Rotom Bike. It only allows you to draw 6, I thought it allowed you to draw 7. So for things like that, and PTCGO looks a lot nicer than me grabbing images off Poke Beach. Anyways, I'm rambling. Let's just end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Until then, take care.